Have you ever wanted to say something so clear and smart that the other person just stops talking? Not by yelling or insulting, but by staying calm and choosing the right words. Imagine being in an argument and, with just one sentence, the other person lowers their voice, looks at you differently, and has nothing left to say. These kinds of responses work with anyone, a boss, a family member, or someone trying to control the situation. They protect you, keep you calm, and quietly put you in control. Most people have felt this frustration. You're making sense, you're being reasonable, but the other person isn't listening. Worse, they seem to be winning the argument, not because they're right, but because they're louder, faster, or more aggressive. Many people think power comes from being loud or intimidating. But that isn't real respect. It's just fear, and it doesn't last. Real power comes from being calm, clear, and in control of yourself. When someone raises their voice to dominate the situation, the worst thing you can do is match their energy. Instead, stay calm and say, "I don't need to raise my voice to be right." This immediately shifts the balance. You step out of the chaos and show confidence. You're not fighting anymore. You're leading. People notice who stays calm when others lose control. When someone speaks to you with sarcasm, mockery, or disrespect, it's tempting to respond the same way. But doing that only lowers you to their level. A better response is, "The way you speak says more about you than about me." You're not insulting them or defending yourself. You're simply reflecting their behavior back to them. Often, this makes people pause because they suddenly hear themselves. By not reacting the way they expect, you change the entire situation. You protect your dignity and refuse to play their game. Calm, thoughtful responses are remembered long after loud arguments are forgotten. Some arguments aren't real conversations at all. The other person interrupts, raises their voice, and tries to force their opinion on you. You are not obligated to stay in that kind of exchange. You can calmly say, "Let's talk when we can do it respectfully." This isn't walking away in weakness. It's setting a clear boundary. You're showing that you're willing to talk, but only with mutual respect. When you speak with clarity, calm, and confidence, you're no longer arguing. You're leading. They interrupt you again and again. Their voice is aggressive. Instead of making things worse, you pause, take a breath, and calmly say, "Let's talk when we can do it respectfully." In that moment, the conversation changes. It's no longer about the topic. It's about the basic respect needed for the conversation to even continue. This kind of response shows self-control. You can't control how others act, but you can control what behavior you accept. By saying this, you make your boundary clear. You don't need to shout or explain yourself. You simply show what you will and won't tolerate. Often, the other person goes quiet, because someone who can't speak respectfully loses the right to continue the conversation with you. There are also times when talking any further is useless. The other person isn't listening and doesn't want to understand. They just want to win, even if it hurts you. In those moments, saying "I'd prefer not to continue this conversation" becomes your protection. It's simple and direct. It doesn't ask for approval or give excuses. It just ends the exchange. Imagine someone keeps provoking you, pushing your patience, and filling the conversation with negativity. Instead of exploding, you stay calm, look at them, and say, "I'd prefer not to continue this conversation." That sentence stops the toxic pattern immediately. More importantly, it gives you your power back. Choosing to stop is not weakness. It's choosing your peace over unnecessary conflict. Sometimes walking away is the strongest move you can make. Not every disagreement is with someone who means harm. Sometimes it's with friends, family, or co-workers who try to push their beliefs or decisions onto you. They may mean well, but they cross your boundaries. In those moments, a respectful but firm response is needed. You can say, "That's your opinion, and I respect it, but I don't share it." This response shows that you are listening, but it also makes your position clear. You're not attacking them or dismissing their view. You're simply standing in your own. When you say this calmly, the other person has little room to argue, because you're not rejecting them, only stating your own perspective. Depending too much on the opinions of others can trap you. Thinking for yourself and not needing approval gives you freedom. When people realize they can't pressure or manipulate you, they often begin to respect you more. Now you have 5 simple responses that protect your peace and strengthen your confidence. When you say them calmly and clearly, they often bring silence, not because you defeated the other person, but because you stayed in control. Real respect doesn't come from force. It comes from character. These phrases are powerful when practiced. Over time, people will listen to you more and think twice before trying to provoke you. You become someone who is calm, grounded, and hard to shake.